Welcome to Everyday Counseling, a podcast about understanding emotional patterns as they show up in everyday life. In this episode, we'll cover why many people slowly hide parts of themselves over time, how emotional masking becomes normal, and what begins to change when someone allows themselves to be seen more honestly. A lot of people move through life managing perception, not lying, not pretending completely, just editing themselves slightly depending on who they are around. You might notice this in your tone, your humor, the things you avoid saying. With some people, you become more agreeable. With others, quieter. With others, more careful. After enough of this adjustment becomes automatic. You stop noticing how much energy goes into being understandable, acceptable, easy to respond to. Sometimes it begins very early. You learn which version of yourself creates less tension, which emotions are welcomed, which reactions get ignored, which parts of your personality feel safer to keep private. So you adapt. Most people do. At work, someone might present as calm and highly capable while privately feeling overwhelmed most of the week. With family, someone may continue playing the role they have always played, even though it no longer fits who they are now. With friends, people often become known for one side of themselves, the funny one, the stable one, the listener, the strong one. Who are you in your varying friendship groups? And after a while, it can feel difficult to step outside of that version. Not because people are fake, because being fully visible carries risk. If people see more of you, they may misunderstand you, disagree with you, expect different things from you. There is vulnerability in being seen clearly. You might recognize this feeling when you say something more honest than usual and immediately wonder if you shared too much. Or when you stop smoothing over your reactions and suddenly feel exposed. For people who spend years managing emotional atmosphere, authenticity can feel unfamiliar at first. Not freezing immediately, unsteady, because you are no longer controlling perception in the same way. You are allowing more natural responses to appear. That might mean admitting you're struggling instead of automatically saying you are fine. Or saying you feel hurt instead of acting unaffected. Or letting silence exist without rushing to make everyone comfortable again. There are small moments externally. Internally, they can feel significant. What is interesting is that people often become more emotionally connected once they stop performing steadiness all the time. Not because they become dramatic, because they become more real, authentic, genuine, human. Real conversations usually contain uncertainty, imperfection, contradiction. Someone says what they actually meant instead of the polished version. Someone admits they do not fully know how they feel yet. Someone pauses instead of automatically giving the expected response. That honesty changes the emotional tone of interactions. It also changes how people experience themselves. When you are constantly managing perception, there's always a slight distance between you and the interaction. Part of your attention stays focused on how you are coming across. Once that softens, conversations feel lighter. You're not monitoring yourself as heavily. You're not rehearsing internally while speaking. You are just present. And presence feels different from performance. It's calmer, less controlled, more connected. That does not mean everyone will understand you perfectly once you become more open. Some people are more comfortable with the version of you they're used to. Yeah, don't we know it? But over time, authenticity tends to create stronger connection than careful performance. Not because people expect perfection, usually they're responding to honesty, to congruence, to the feeling that the person in front of them is actually there. That is often what people are searching for underneath conversation anyway. Not polished communication, presence. Not performance, presence. And sometimes allowing yourself to be seen more fully begins very quietly. A slightly more honest sentence, a slower answer, less editing, less performance, more of yourself in the room. In the next episode, I want to do something slightly different. I want to speak more personally, share more about myself, where this podcast came from, and begin putting more presence behind the voice you've been listening to.